Okay, the book is titled 50 Not Out, and what it contains is 50 lessons from cricket. The tagline of the book is that the 50 powerful lessons from cricket that we can apply to excel in life. The lessons are titled aggression, courage, patience, all 50 qualities or attributes that we can take from human endeavor to excellence. And what each one of them does is it exemplifies or it speaks about a particular cricket phrase. Like you could start with something like creativity, and the cricketing phrase there would be catches win matches. And we are all very familiar with the cricketing phrases, but how they translate to the layman or even to the practitioner. What are the practices that it talks about, and how they can be used to excel in life is what the book is all about. So the 50 traits that are focused on, and each one of them tries to get into the technique, the skill, the mindset, and how these can be applied in real life also. So for example, let's say the same example of catches winning matches. If I take up a ball and throw it in the air, and any layman is asked to catch it, maybe a layman would pick up 3 or 4 catches out of 10 balls that are thrown up in the air. So we are interested, somebody who's practiced a bit of cricket would probably catch about 6 or 8 of those catches. Now what we are interested to know is the difference between a person who's catching 6 catches or 8 catches and the person who catches all 10, however difficult they may be. So what we need to know, or what the book tries to address, is this gap where there is an average and there is something that the people who catch all of these 10 catches or who take the most difficult catches and how they do it. So let's say the cricketing practice is like this. The cricketing practice is, let's say the ball is thrown up really high. You're first supposed to get under the ball. All the time keep your eyes on the ball. Get under the ball as quickly as you can. Keep your eyes on the ball as it comes down. Right? Follow the ball right up into your hands. Right? This is what we are told by the coaches and teachers who tell us. Now a typical non-practitioner or somebody who is not practicing at that level of excellence would typically take his eyes off the ball at some point of time, or may not get under the ball early enough. It's all about anticipation, it's all about getting there, and it's all about keeping your eyes on the ball almost until it is safe in your hands. The idea is, and most of the mistakes occur in the last part, the last 10%, where let's say the ball has to be seen until it settles in your hands. And when you take your eyes over the ball, it can go a little this way or that way, and the ball pops out, and by the time you want to react to it, you don't have enough time. In which case, in the other event where you are actually following it into your hands, you actually have time to react even if the ball pops out of your hand. And this is what they do. Now, how do I translate something like this into, and of course you need to practice this so many more times, but you understand that this particular practice will help you catch as many catches as you can. So there is anticipation, there is the practice, and there is the finish of the whole thing. Now how do I apply this into life? And for me it's very interesting, because to me catches are not just about, let's say we're talking about opportunities and we're saying creativity and catches winning matches, right? So we're trying to create an opportunity, right? As an expert fielder, what we would try to do is you will try and create an opportunity. So there is one type of fielder who will probably just drop even straightforward catches, where you are losing opportunities that are coming to you. The second part, or the kind of people that I'm interested in, are people who are actually converting half chances, who are creating opportunities where they don't exist. So this is the kind of a practice that an expert does, or an expert brings to the table. So how does he do that? Now there is again where I take 20 catches a day. The expert fielders, all the expert catchers will take 100 catches a day, or 150 catches a day, or 200 catches a day. That's why they get so good at that. They anticipate the ball well, they anticipate how it moves, they are very intuitive in those kind of things. But all this intuition, all this sharpening of awareness comes from practice, and they follow these practices to the T. Now what will happen if so what it does mean is that your preparation is well in place, even before the ball is bowled or it is coming off the bat. You're already thinking, this kind of a batsman will play this ball, likely to play this ball this way, and if this happens, this is where I'm going to go, and this is how I'm going to So you're already played it out in your mind, and the moment the half chance occurs, you're already going towards the ball. You're drawn towards the ball like a steel filing to a magnet. And what does it mean in real life? You prepare. You don't expect things to come and fall in your lap. If you're not prepared to take the catch, if you don't have the kind of practice, or you're not following the kind of practices that need to be done, even if the opportunity comes to you, you will not be able to recognize it. You will not be able to address it properly or even accept it. What we're saying is, just as the expert fielder does, you prepare that much more in advance for the possibility of a half chance, right? Take up that much more responsibility, put in that much more preparation. The moment the half chance appears, you are well prepared to accept it. So in these kind of situations also it happens that these opportunities will come or will appear to come to people who are more prepared than the others. So this is one example of how 15 not out goes, and the idea is that whether it's patience or courage or aggression, whether you're talking about playing each ball on its merit or being prepared for every ball, any of these catchphrases that we talk about in cricket, each of them has a lesson and each of them has a practice that can be applied in real life. Right. So I played first class cricket for Hyderabad, and I played it when I was in college. So I played cricket at a particular level. But those days, of course, we played more intuitively and we never analyzed the game. But it was post my first class period when I was actually pursuing the game more as a student that I learned all these finer aspects to it, and how one can actually excel in these things. And then, of course, I've also done my MBA and worked in the corporate sector. And you know that there is a particular way to do things if you want to excel. And when I looked at the cricketing practices, I could see that there are so many connections there. See, unlike in most other places on the cricketing field, there are not too many second chances. And it's a performance. You're performing right up there on the stage, and you can't hide there. So out there, a win, a loss, glory or failure, all these things are highlighted, and you can't just hide those things. So many of these practices I felt have a connection and have application actually in whether it's business or general life, if you want to excel in anything. And you can't just treat it like, okay, that's a game and this is life, which a lot of people say. But for me, yeah, it's a game, but it's still the microcosm of life. It's life that is magnified because you're performing on a stage. It's not like you're doing something at the back end where you can make a mistake and then cover it up. Management people also, because it probably may resonate with them. But I wrote it for anybody who is looking to excel or is looking to pursue excellence as a way of life or as a process, and not hope that it's only the prerogative of some. Right? A lot of people think, okay, excellence is the prerogative of some. But to understand that all these attributes can be honed. All of us have all these 50 attributes. Only thing is we think we have them probably in lesser scale. But if you wish to, you can develop the muscle for that. And the idea is that, okay, if somebody takes 50 catches and I take 200 catches, I'm obviously going to get better at this. And if I don't know how to do it, I can get a mentor. So there are ways in which you can develop the muscle and start excelling. And the thing is, anybody can do it. And I feel that way my target market is for everybody else. Though there is some corporate aspect, because I think corporates are again where teams work, leadership works, many of these things, they're already tuned into some of these aspects.
So is your book largely process driven in terms of, do you talk about how to go about achieving a certain thing, or is it more a little bit about analyzing situations that you've seen on the cricketing ground?
It is about process only. In fact, there is one statement that I make in the book where I say there's no luck, there is only preparation. And it is about fine-tuning your process until you find the kind of result that you want. and not giving excuses or not giving it away to abstract concepts or things that are not in your control. So it is entirely about process, it's entirely about following a particular method and doing it and preparing in a certain way. So when you say preparation, we look at skill, but with limited skill you can achieve a lot if you know how to apply that skill. So we look at skill as only about 20% or whatever. We look at the physical aspect as maybe another 10% or 20%. But the big chunk of this entire thing is in your mind. So much of this is about deconstructing what is not obvious. So you may look at a fantastic performance by A.B. de Villiers or by Virat Kohli or Dhoni or any of these people or Sachin Tendulkar and say, wow, I mean, these people seem to be blessed. But what we're not looking at is that behind all this is a particular form of preparation that they put in, and all the hours that they put in to execute whatever they're doing today so confidently. And if they can do it, the idea is that anybody else can do it. So it is entirely about process, it's entirely about preparation. Yes, it's given. Of course, in each of these aspects that we've talked about, we've spoken about it both from the cricketing aspect. The philosophy is given, the practice is given, and why it's followed by the cricketers and by cricketers who excel. There is an example which is given about how it's been applied maybe in the cricketing world. Then there are two examples, one a personal example, because I want to share that these are things that I've been exposed to in real life, and it's not like always I've succeeded. Sometimes I've learned through failures, my own failures. Sometimes I've learned from other people. The personal examples, and there are examples that are out in the real world.